Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Have you ever seen a dollar bill that looks like this? We've got a brown seal, a brown serial number, and we've got Hawaii printed over the regular $1 bill. It's a 1935 Series A with the brown seal Hawaii printing on it. This is what's known as a Hawaii overprint. So after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the United States was very worried that Japan would overtake the island and get access to a large amount of United States currency, so they made Hawaii overprint notes. And that is what today's video is going to be about. We'll talk about the rarity of these, a little bit of history, and the value of them, of course. Before we get into that, if you are into coin collecting and currency collecting as well, you have come to the right place. Let me quickly show you some of the other bills that have appeared on the channel recently, and if that interests you, you can check them out. Some of the other videos that I've done. So this one right here is a 2013 series, nothing special about that series, but it's a little bit of a misprint. The spacing on the right side is much less than the spacing on the left side, as well as the top versus the bottom. Some of the other notes that appeared are this one right here, known as a horse blanket. This is part of the 1923 series, and this one right here, much bigger than your standard United States dollar bill, which is this size right here. So we've got the horse blanket. We've also got this one right here, 1957 series blue seal. We've got a 1930F blue seal. We've got a Joseph Barr note. So the Joseph Barr was the Secretary of Treasury for a very short period of time. So these ones are a little bit more collectible. We've also got a star note on this one as well. And we've got a red seal $2 bill, as well as some sequential $5 bills. Now, these ones right here, just rearrange them a little bit so some of them aren't exactly in order. But these can be picked up directly from a ATM. These are pretty exciting scores whenever you come across them. You can pick them up from an ATM or a cashier or a teller at a bank. And whenever you find these, definitely hang on to them. Getting sequential dollar bills in order is a cool find and cool add to your collection. Now, if they were low serial number or if they had a star note to them, they'd be worth even more. But nonetheless, we've got some neat sequential $5 bills that are part of my collection that I made a separate video about. Now let's get back into the original video, this one right here, the Hawaii overprint note. Now I will put it into a plastic case like the other dollar bills that I've done. However, as you probably notice, it creates a lot of glare when I make a video about them, so it makes it a little bit harder to make the video. You can't see it as well, so for this video, we'll keep it just like this. I'll do my best to handle it. As you can see though, it is well worn out. So let's go back, talk a little bit about the history. As I flip it over to this side, we see Hawaii overprinted on the back. So Japan attacked Pearl Harbor December 7th, 1941, resulted in 2,300 Americans dying. At the time, Hawaii was just a territory of the United States, but there were fears that if Japan took over Hawaii, they would have access to large amounts of United States dollar bills. So what they did was they recalled all of the regular United States dollar bills in January of 1942. Individuals could only keep $200 and businesses could only keep $500. They then burned all of those dollar bills. They originally thought about transporting them back to the United States, but realized that would be quite a hard task to do. So they burned all of them in a furnace at a sugar mill. And then in June of 1942, they released these ones right here. So the reason why they released these with the Hawaii overprint on them in the brown seal, so that if Japan overtook the island, got access to all the cash, United States could then say these Hawaii notes right here are no longer worth anything. So they could immediately devalue them and Hawaii wouldn't have all that US currency that they otherwise would have if they kept the regular dollar bill. So very forward thinking on their part, very thoughtful to avoid any kind of crisis like that with Japan having access to all that US cash. So they burned the old ones, they brought out these ones right here. Now these ones were then recalled April of 1946. So we went from 42 all the way until 46 with using this 1935 Series A. So they didn't redesign the dollar bill at all. That's why they kept the original 1935 series. But from 1942 until 1946, they were using these bills. Now, when they recalled them, they recalled them, and then they issued back the regular United States bills. So if you've got a Hawaii note, the only way that you could have it is that someone didn't turn it in. So someone must have been able to get by without spending that money, without actually needing that money. So if you were a local, and you wanted to keep one of these as a keepsake and you didn't need that dollar, then you could hang on to it. Or if you were a serviceman or woman and you wanted to keep kind of a token of your service, maybe you kept one of the Hawaii notes. And as a result of that, you can imagine that the $1 bills would be much more common to have survived because people were more likely to be able to get by without a dollar compared to the $5, $10, and $20 bills. So $1 bills are common for that reason, as well as because of their mintage. Like most dollar bills and coins, the value of this right here will be determined based on its condition and its rarity. So, as you can imagine, what you're probably thinking of when I say condition is that this one right here is not in very good condition at all. That is very true. Just kind of an introductory coin collector and currency collector, like many people here that watch the channel. So whenever I buy a dollar bill or buy any type of banknote or coin online, I usually often get a lower grade one, so I can just get kind of a introductory one, and then maybe I'll trade up later and get some that are in better condition. So you can buy these on eBay, you can buy them at your local coin shop maybe, or maybe at a coin show if you can attend one in one of the bigger cities. Now, as far as so we talked about the condition of this one right here. It's not going to be worth a lot because of the condition, as well as because of the rarity. As far as the rarity of the dollar bills go, the United States $1 one, the $1 Hawaii over note, there are 35 million of them made. That is the most common of the series. The least common is the $5 bill. There were only 9.4 million of the $5 bills that were made. There are 10.4 million of the $10 bills and 11.2 million of the $20 bills. As far as the star notes go, they only released the star notes on the $1 and the $5, the $1 and the $20 as far as the mintages go. So there are 204,000 of the $1 star notes and 54,000 of the $20 star notes. So if you've got a star note, which is a replacement note, that's going to be even more rare because the mintages on those are lower. So what you're going to want to look for are great condition $5 bill and a star note. If you can line up all three of those, you have really hit the jackpot. Now, as far as the introductory price for something like this right here, you'd probably spend around $20 for it. I think that's approximately what I spent once you take into consideration the shipping costs and the handling of buying something like this on eBay. Now, I realize you're spending $20 to get something that only has a face value of $1, and I'm not sure if $20 is the best possible price, but that's the approximate range I would expect to pay if I were you. And so it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other introductory stuff you can get on eBay, but a definitely cool thing to add to your collection. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please do check out some of the other videos on this channel. Thank you very much, everyone, for all the views, all the subscriptions, all the friendly comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone. Enjoy.